Yo, every Wednesday night, you better tune in tight. At 7 p.m. CST, we bring in that insight. Halas Hall Report, best podcast in the game. Stats and facts, you'll remember the name. Host Ken Dub got the knowledge on lock. Co-host Woody the Bear fan, talking all that talk. 3 Bear fans chilling, opinions on the side. We're here for the love, riding that Bear pride. Halas Hall, we break it down right. Join us on the journey from day to night. Blue and orange army taking over the scene. 2025's the year, know what we mean. Bear fans unite, it's our time to rise. Sunday mornings, pre-game vibes in the skies. Lions think they're fierce with Dan Campbell's call, but all that greed ain't gonna help them at all. Same old story, we know how it goes. They just can't compete, everybody knows. Minnesota Vikings always talking smack, but when it's game day, they ain't got the knack. Sitting on the couch while we're making a stand. Over here in Chi-Town, we're the best in the land. Halas Hall, we break it down right. Join us on the journey from day to night. Blue and orange army taking over the scene. 2025's the year, know what we mean. Bear fans unite, it's our time to rise. Sunday mornings, pre-game vibes in the skies. Packer fans yell blow pack blow, but can't see the truth. We're stealing the show. Rivalry heated, but we stay real cool. Halas Hall Report, yeah, that's the rule. With every episode, we build that hype. Stats and team news, we got the right type. Fan base strong, we ain't looking back. 2025, it's a win and attack. So gather round fans, put your hands in the air. Every Wednesday night, we're breathing that bear. Join the revolution, watch the magic unfold. Halas Hall Report, we're breaking the mold. Halas Hall, we break it down right. Join us on the journey from day to night. Blue and orange army taking over the scene. 2025's the year, know what we mean. Bear fans unite, it's our time to rise. Sunday mornings, pre-game vibes in the sky. So mark your calendars, don't miss a beat. Every Wednesday night, Halas Hall can't be beat. Stats, facts, team news on deck. Halas Hall Report, what did you expect? 2025, the Bears are here to stay. Blue and orange in the north, leading the way.
Hey, good evening. Welcome to another edition of Halas Hall Report. Of course, we got 2 guys here who have zero opinion about everything. Of course, the other guy being Woody. Good evening, Woody. How you doing?
Oh, I just feel like dancing to that song, but I ain't fucking doing it.
No, I don't want to break a hip.
Nope. Yeah, already did that too.
So really kind of quiet this week in Bears land. However, did you see your favorite quarterback this last weekend?
Do?
Caleb at the concert series at the show. So Caleb had a bunch of different things. They had a Fanatics event, I guess he did. And, he basically, he goes, Packer fans suck. Fuck the Packers.
Oh.
And then he went to some concert and he had the whole stadium chanting, Packers suck. And so, he's endearing himself to Bears fans everywhere. And, so that was like the big news. Like, they were following Caleb around as he did concerts and events and he's doing Bear things, I guess,
Well, I bet he's 1-1 against him, so you better be way out front before you can start saying that shit, but that's just me.
I mean, it's kind of like, it harkens back to Lovie Smith Day, the day they hired Lovie. And why Bears fans love him? Well, our first job is to beat the Packers. Well, that's why Bears fans loved Lovie, and he went and did it. Reasonably did it. Now let's see if Caleb, in his career can turn that tide. Plus, he gets to meet Aaron Rodgers this year, right? When we played the Steelers, so he's got some tasks to complete this year.
Yeah, maybe he'll, he's 1-1 against Jordan Love. That's going to be interesting. So maybe he'll do the discount double check like Aaron Rodgers used to do in the end zone, but I'm not getting ahead of myself.
Hey, if you think about it, Caleb's got some big matchups this year. He's got the 2 games against Jordan Love, obviously. He's got the game against Rodgers. And then, of course, we go back to Washington.
Yep.
Him and Jaden. So some good matchups we're gonna get to watch throughout the season when we eventually get there. What are we, like 70 some days away now? Anyone doing 74 days away? So we're um God, I hate when I'm brain farting. I'm looking at his picture on my wall, 74 days away. Just went to the Hall of Fame in 2020. Anywho,
what's that? You're trying to figure out?
I'm trying to remember. Damn it! Now I'm brain farting.
74?
Yeah.
Not Thayer. Who the heck was it?
No.
70, 74 was his number?
Yeah.
Well, something I don't know. Fuck, my bad. While you're doing that, Ken, here's another thing to figure it out. When are these rookies gonna fucking sign?
Oh, these second rounders? Jimbo Covert. We're Jimbo Covert. See?
Covert.
Yeah, I'm looking. His signature just doesn't read. Yeah, we're Jimbo Covert days away. As far as the second round, it kind of bleeds into some of this morning's discussion from Ken and Ken. And we've talked about for the last, week and a half, like 30 of the 32 have not signed because Cleveland went and gave a fully guaranteed rookie deal to their first second rounder of 2. And then the Texans went and did that. So the first 2 picks in the second round now have fully guaranteed rookie deals. And all the other second rounds like, well, hey, wait a minute. We can get fully guaranteed deals now in the second round? Well, I'll wait. We've got 3 of them. So I think they're waiting to see which team blinks first or which team stops it. And then from that pick on, right? So if you're the Bears, we have 3 of them. Is one of the teams ahead of them? At what point do you stop the fully guaranteed? I don't get. I get it. I don't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, if I was GM or coach, and this guy's not signing, I'd be like, you're fucked up. You're fucked up, dude. You just got drafted. It's your job. This is your lifelong dream, and you're holding out because of other players getting fully guaranteed money. Fuck that. I told him I'd play basketball for $200,000 a year. I don't give a shit. Sign me up. Just for me being there.
That's the first round pick. So for the second round, it's just like, I don't get it. I mean, yeah, I'm with you. I don't get it. So the second round, okay, at 33, so the first pick of the second round, Carson Schweinsinger, linebacker from UCLA, got a guaranteed contract. Mm-hmm. Then Houston at 34, Jaden Higgins, guaranteed contract. From that point on, no one else is signed. So does Seattle at 35 give their guy a fully, where does it stop? Cleveland again at 36, 37 at Miami's pick. The Bears, our second rounder was at 39. So the Bears are waiting to see, hey, if New England or Miami or Seattle or Cleveland doesn't give their other second rounder a fully guaranteed, sweet. We don't have to do that with Luther. But let's say they all do. So that the Bears give Luther a fully guaranteed at 39. Then it goes to Nola at pick 40, right? And so I think that's what it's a waiting game. They're looking to see, the GMs are waiting to see which one's gonna stop the bleeding, and the players are waiting to see how far up you can go. Can you be picked 45 and get a fully guaranteed contract for your rookie deal? Could you be number 64, the last pick in the round, and get a fully guaranteed deal? So then what, next year do the third rounders hold out for fully guaranteed deals? Well, that's where this is going.
That's the reason why you're drafted late second round.
Yeah.
Fully guaranteed. Jesus Christ, man. You're still going to get money for to build your mom a house. Jesus Christ.
So 30 of the 32 still have not signed their deals. It's just the first 2, and they got fully guaranteed. Everyone else is waiting. No, if you the breakdown by round.
I don't even think Hunter got a fully contract guaranteed.
Well, here's the funny thing. So you have a breakdown of the unsigned drafted rookies at this point. Every 7th rounder has signed. Every 6th rounder has signed. Every 5th rounder has signed. 5 from the 4th, 3 from the 3rd, 2 from the 1st, 30 from the 2nd.
Jesus Christ. Now who's the 2 from the 1st?
Stewart and Denver's Jahadi Barn. So Shamar Stewart from the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yep.
And then Denver with Jahadi Barron.
Yeah, I don't know what these kids want.
So
I think most of them are just since injuries are so big in football these days, they want a fully guaranteed contract because if they get hurt and say if it's career ending, they'll get all that money.
You know what? On one level, I'm like, okay. On the other level, I'm like, I don't care. Go get a real job then.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You just graduated from college, right? So you should have a college degree.
Yeah.
Great. Then go get a job.
Yeah. It's like basketball players too. They come out like first year of goddamn college and they get in the pros, they make all this money. I would have them, get their degree. So if something does happen, they have something to fall back on.
The cheapest contract in the NFL right now. So basically an undrafted free agent rookie. If they make the roster, it's $840,000 a year.
I would turn it down. Not. Fuck out of here.
I mean, if you look at over the cap, the cheapest contract you'll find any team has is $840,000.
Well, then you cut because your age and shit, and who knows?
Okay, well, yeah, your agent gets their 3% or whatever it is, and then you got taxes. But once again, your tax bracket is not my problem.
Right.
Right. If you're $840,000 contract, but you're not playing every game and therefore not earning a paycheck in that other city, the jock tax isn't applying to you. Right. So let's say you're a player for the Miami Dolphins and you don't travel with the team, but you're making your $840. Well, you're not paying a jock tax in any of those other NFL cities. But once again, your tax issues are not my problem.
Mm-hmm.
And when our kids graduate from college, they're lucky to make what, 40, 50 grand a year, and they got to pay taxes and they got to pay living expenses and they got to do all that stuff. So my heart does not bleed for them.
No, every player's contract, if they hold out, it just gets to me because
so
I'm looking.
Second rounders though, if they're going to get 1 year at least, or at least going to get $1 to $2 million, I'm like, dude. If you're like a 20-year-old kid, 21-year-old kid, whatever, coming out of college, and you're going to make $1 million this year as a second round pick, $1 million, $2 million, whatever. What's the least amount of money I think that a second rounder can get paid for the first year? Like maybe right around $1 million. I mean, dude, really? I mean, if that's the only year you get, you're still ahead of your peers, your age group, right? Let me see, second round of the NFL. Let me
Just reminds me of Caleb last year. I'm not signing. I know what I'm worth. Dude, I'd punch you in your teeth.
Let me see here if I can find out what the scale is here for these guys in the second round, from first to last pick of the round. Because obviously there is some shifting.
I'll answer this question.
So 2025, these are on four years. So a 4-year deal ranges from $10.85 million from the first pick in the round to $6.83 million at the end. The least amount any of these kids will make this year, $1.24 million, and that's the kid who got drafted by Philly at 64. He'll make $1.24 million minimum. That's what he's making. So if he plays 1 year and gets hurt and doesn't play anymore, he still is a millionaire.
Wow.
Well, relatively speaking.
What's going on, GPG? I said Bears will get 9-8 this year.
Yeah, I've been saying between 8 to 10. I mean, it's way early for all the predicting, man. We're not even at camp yet. Who knows what the roster's really going to look like? I like to wait till a little bit closer, but yeah, I mean, dude,
Yep,
1.28 million for a rookie year. I mean, I hope my kid gets that when he gets out of college for his first year in the workforce.
I don't know. Maybe it's a sport that, everybody gets hurt, tackling, all this shit, but fuck, dude, just holding out for those contracts. Oh my God.
They're not. Go Pack Go. They are not
No.
complete. 30 of the 32 second rounders have yet to sign their deals. We did a breakdown. I think you missed it. Let me see if I can give you that breakdown again. Here's how many people have not signed from the draft this year. Of all the players, how many players are drafted? What's Mr. Relevant? What's that number?
Is it 250 or something?
250, 270. Okay,
something.
There are in total 40 players that have yet to sign their contract. Right? Wait, that's 7 times 32. So it's, then you have compensation picks, right? But just on balance. So you have 224 players drafted. 30 have yet to sign their deal. 2 from the first round, 3 from the third round, 4 from the fifth round. All the 5th, 6th, and 7th rounders have signed. 30 from the second round. So 75% of the players who have not signed yet were drafted in the second round.
And they're all in the
And
Packers.
all of those guys are going to make at least $1.228 million this year, minimum.
Crazy. I mean, not crazy. There's crazy holding out, not signing yet. Not crazy.
Yeah, I mean, because I get not crazy because the NFL makes a lot of money, and that's not lost on me, right? I mean, it's a industry that makes them a lot of money. We all love it. Hell, we do a show about it.
Yep.
But sign that rookie deal, guaranteed. The guarantees, like I said, the guarantee from top to bottom. So the cheapest of the contracts at number 64 is guaranteed, over 4 years. That contract size is $6.83 million. At number 33, the first pick in the draft, it's $10.85 million. So Luther Burden III, over his 4-year deal, is going to be worth $10.13 million. He'll make $1.84 million in 2025. 41. Who was 41 for us? Was that? Was that Ozzy?
That was Ozzy.
Not 4-year. His 4-year deal will be worth $9.85 million. He'll make $1.79. And our third second round pick.
Wasn't that the tackle from Texas A&M?
Yeah, where was he selected at though?
Let me see. Hold on.
Number.
Hold on.
We got that via trade, right?
Draft. All right. Let's see. Round. Okay, so actually, Ozzy was the 56. Round 2.
Yeah,
because remember, we traded out at our 41.
Yep, that was the Buffalo Bills pick. Okay, so 56, he's guaranteed 4 years, $7.31 million, $1.33 million. So that's Ozzy. That 56, and what's the other pick? What
and
was that?
62 was Shamar Turner, defensive tackle.
Shamar Turner, his contract will be $6.88 million guaranteed, and he'll make $1.25 million in 2025.
And we didn't have a third round pick.
Right, but this is just a second rounder. So
right, yep.
I mean, they're all making over 1.2 this year. I mean, they're making money. I mean, and they're holding out because it's not fully guaranteed. Well, nothing in life is fully guaranteed. When you got your first job, were you fully guaranteed your pay for the year? No. If you were salary and you got fired midway through the year, guess what? You stopped getting paid. You still have, and you probably had a ton of college loans and everything to pay off. These guys were making NIL money. So my heart does not bleed for these kids. It really doesn't.
I can go to my boss tomorrow and say, hey, can I get a year advancing my pay, and he'll fucking jump right on it.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Will you fully guarantee my pay for the next? I want a guaranteed contract for the next 4 years. Your boss will look at you like, yeah, okay, sure.
You know what I mean? What the GMs and stuff. I'm not signing. I want it fully guaranteed.
No, look at going from the top to the bottom. I mean, you're talking 10.85 mil at 33, and you're talking 6.83 mil. Okay, we spend that much on a guy for a 1 year flyer. I mean, it's not a lot of money to the teams. To these kids, it's a ton of money. But then again, if you're the guy at 49 and you only make 2 years of your deal, why should I pay you the other 4 to 5 million if you're not, 3 to 4 million if you're not playing, right? So yep. I get that from the team side of it. So, I think we're just waiting to see where does the bleeding stop. You would
think the higher picks would hold out because they're getting less money. You know what I'm saying? And then like the first, second, third, fourth round pick, they're getting the big money, and they're still holding out because they want fully guaranteed. Just fucking sign, you cheap pieces of shit.
I mean, at least it seems that all of them are at least went to OTAs, and all the team stuff. They've been doing that. But yeah, it really just makes you go like you really want to be in the NFL. The first thing you do is hold out because you're not getting fully guaranteed. And here's the thing. This is a tough situation for GMs and players alike, though, right? If you're the GM, you don't want to be the next GM to give a fully guaranteed contract. You really don't want to be that guy. Because everyone's like, oh, fuck, It's like, great. If Seattle gives their kid a fully guaranteed contract, Cleveland's like, crap. Now we got to give number 36 a field guaranteed. Because we already gave 33, and now we got to give 36. If Miami gives it at 37, everyone's like, what the hell, Miami? Why don't you stop this bullshit that Cleveland and Houston started, right? Yeah. And then if you're the players, if Miami, let's say that where it stops, then all those players after Jonah, however you say his name, the guard from that was drafted from Arizona, every guy in the second round behind him, like, what the hell, dude? You just screwed us all out of money.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
it's just like the current players too that won contracts. Oh my God, he got 3.4 million more than I did as a wide receiver. I want that same money, or I'm holding out. Get the fuck, man. Good God.
Like honestly, like if you're Ozzy Trapio at 56, you're probably not thinking you're going to get guaranteed. But you know what? You're still not going to sign your contract because maybe you wait and see what happens, right? I mean, is Shamar Turner at 62 going to get fully guaranteed money?
No.
Is everyone going to acquiesce? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, but at the same time, though, if you're Shamar Turner, you don't want to sign your contract now because the guys behind you, maybe even some of the guys in front of you, are like, dude, what the hell? Well, keep the pressure on. So
here's the question. What's the cutoff for rookie signings?
Camp, right? Don't they have to be signed by camp?
Not sure. That's why I asked.
I would think by camp is when they have to be signed.
You mean regular camp, not rookie mini camp?
Yeah, I'm talking about like camp.
Oh, camp. Okay.
So then about what, 3 weeks?
Yeah, around there.
So I mean, I think they might be able to practice. I don't know if they can practice without it. It might be different for rookies. I don't know.
Well, they're practicing now. OTAs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. Well, let's ask the question. By when do rookies have to sign their deals?
Let's go. Everybody in the comments, ask some fucking questions. I'm bored. Let's go. Welcome everybody that's watching, by the way.
It might be actually by the end of camp.
I would sign before camp. You know why?
Why?
What What if you get injured when you're holding
Yeah.
out?
Yeah. Now you're not getting anything.
Yeah, so they're fucking dumb.
I think some of the like Shamar Turner, like he'll probably sign because he's so far back, and he'll be like whatever. There'll be some player around 42, 44, whatever, who might just say, you know what, I'm signing. Like this is just I'm still making almost $2 million this year, so you know. Okay, go ask the question here. First off, good evening, Greg. It's been a minute. Hope you're doing
Greg,
well up there in Cali.
Greg,
What bear
Caleb
are you?
still
What bear are you excited to see play this year?
rookie or pro or on the team already?
Yeah, go with both. We got time.
I'm excited to see Kyle Managi, man. I want to see this kid bust out, boy. Yep, bust out. And excited for the let's see the recent I like to see, he was injured last year. I like to see Montez Sweat, bust a move out there. We got to see how Dale works on the other end. We just signed him this year. And again, we know what the last Indianapolis Colts defensive end that we signed, he sucked. But those are the two. Rookie, I want to see Kyle Managi just blow it out. And I want to see Montez Sweat. Hopefully he's recovered, but we need to see him getting some sacks.
I want to see. I don't know if excited is the right word for it, but I want to see Brisker. I want to see what Brisker's like now after having to retrain his, as he said, completely retrain his nervous system. Retrain his body. I want to see what kind of player he's going to be this year. And as far as rookies, I want to see if Ozzie Trapillo is going to be the answer at left tackle long term.
Yep.
Managi is interesting to me, but I'm more interested in left tackle. And what that's going to mean in terms of Braxton Jones, a guy like Managi, what's going to affect him, and how it's going to affect the rest of that line. Yep. All right, next question. What are the Bears' biggest strengths and weaknesses?
Whoa. Strengths? If Tremaine Edmonds breaks out, linebacker, that's one of our biggest strengths. Weaknesses, I got to see how the offensive line works out with these new guys. I'm still saying that our offensive line is one of our weaknesses. Safety as well.
So, Greg, I'll pick up the Braxton. I don't know, to answer your question. I like Braxton Jones.
I can answer.
Go ahead.
Greg, I answered this a couple days ago as well. A lot of people don't like Braxton Jones because of all the penalties, offensive holdings, full starts. That's plain simple. There were some big plays last year, important plays that he, was called on full start or holding.
So Greg,
I
agree with you. And to counter Woody, there were also some big run plays where he was leading the charge and pancaking people as he motored down the field with the running back in tow. My weakness, though, until proven otherwise, I agree with Woody. The offensive line. Yes, we went from the second least amount of money in the NFL being spent on the line to the sixth highest, but until it's on the field and playing, it's a weak spot for me. It's been the focal point for the last couple of years, and it's definitely something that needs to improve. I'll get to that question next. As far as strength, the amount of weapons available to this team, offensively and defensively. The defensive weapons kind of get overshadowed, but Montez Sweat played injured all last year. We got great corners. Our safety room is good, just not signed past this season. I love the interior D line and what they've done to it. The linebacking core is solid. So, yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of weapons on both sides. It's just to make those weapons worthwhile, it all comes down to the offensive line for me. All right, next question.
Oop,
What
I said,
NFC? What? Go
I
ahead.
said this the last 2 weeks. Go ahead, read the question.
Oh, what NFC North team is the scariest?
Minnesota Vikings to me. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I agree.
I'm scared of them. Wow.
I agree. It's not,
The way
and look, we got a Packers fan and a Lions fan here. No disrespect to either of those teams, but yeah, Minnesota's got a defense. They've got what's their question? JJ McCarthy, right? That's their question mark.
Yep.
Okay, what was their question last year, Woody?
quarterback, and look what Darnold did.
Yeah, and everyone's like, "Oh, Darnold sucks," and then we said, "Hey, just be Kyle Orton, and you'll be okay." And he was Kyle Orton, and they won 14 games.
And they just upgraded. They just got Jordan Mason, backup Aaron Jones.
Yep.
They just got Will Fries and Donalau on the offensive line. Sorry if I'm pronouncing his name wrong. So again, JJ McCarthy didn't play a snap, but all he has to do is be good. Even though they have an older defense, like, Harrison Smith, he's getting up there, blah, blah, blah. Dude, they were old last year too, and look what they did. They lost the first round of playoffs, but they just, I'm scared.
They still drafted a stud defensive edge last year. They barely played the kid because they didn't have to.
Dallas Turner.
Yeah, they got Dallas Turner just waiting. So they're the team in the North that scares me the most. While at the same time, it can go all completely terribly wrong for them. JJ McCarthy just shits the bed all season.
Yep.
So that's the funny thing. They're coached great coaching.
Yep.
Overall, offensively and defensively, they have great coaching staff. They're the team that scares me the most. The Packers, they're coached really good.
Mm-hmm.
They have a good head coach who puts their offense in position, but personnel-wise, they don't scare me as much. Detroit, they lost 2 starting linemen, right? That's huge. The brain drain they had with all the coaches, they got poached, stolen, whatever you want to call it. They don't scare me as much personnel-wise either. They got some Hutch is coming back, but is Hutch going to be Hutch, or is he going to be Hutch minus a little? And if he's even just a little minus, like a half a step minus, that's more than enough to make me not scared of him as much anymore. So, it's definitely going to be Minnesota for me as well.
Oh, God, here we go. Nope, he played in the Pac-10. Sorry, Greg.
So what will it take for you to like Caleb, Woody?
Read a defense.
I think that's the question of the day.
Okay. Reading a defense, hitting your throws with wide open receivers, making smart decisions. Don't take the sacks like he did last year. I know there was some out of his control, and as soon as he hiked the ball, he was thinking, oh my God, where am I going to get hit?
Right.
Okay. You can extend the plays. That's why I wanted a mobile quarterback. Be smart with the ball. Hit the receiver.
So if, let's say, the Bears win 10 games, he throws 20 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Is that now like you're like, okay, I like the kid?
Yeah, it's awesome. But he did those 3,800 yards last year. You got to think we were behind a lot of games. Plus the one game we won for week 1, the defense scored all the points. You got to get more than 5 wins as well.
Yeah, well, I think though, you know what though, at the end of the game, when everyone knows you're throwing the ball, isn't it kind of like the hardest time to throw the ball?
What did the Bears used to do back then when we were winning and our defense was winning the game?
Yeah, you go to prevent and you give up chunk yards.
Yep.
But at the same time, everyone knows you're going to throw. So I mean, that's a mixed bag argument for me. But I get what you're saying. I think we'll see some regression, a sophomore slump, if you will, in some statistical areas. I mean, you kind of have to think, every rookie kind of goes through that this second year. So every second year player, I should say. But I think you'll see progression. You have to see progression. Fields gave you progression. Trubisky gave you kind of a mixed bag, right? If Fields gave us progression, then Caleb has to do so as well.
Well, see, my question for you with the progression, though, he had
Yeah.
3,800 yards, only threw 5 interceptions.
Right.
The offensive line sucked.
Yeah.
Where in what area besides wins would he have to progress?
I think part of it, like, let's say the offensive line is shit again. Not take as many snaps. Learn to get rid of the ball faster. Throw it away when there's nothing there sometimes. Like, he got better at that, I felt, as the season went on. Like, okay, I can't take the sack. Get rid of it. Like, he didn't learn that first Vikings game when he took that sack in overtime. But if that would have been week 16, that sack wouldn't have happened. He would have gotten rid of the ball. So, because he had started doing that. So that's part of the progression. I mean, there's a little, like, as we say in the Army, Met TC, right? Like, what are we seeing on the battlefield that's making it happen? So if the O-line is shit, then I want part of the progression for him is you're getting rid of the ball. He already has a fast release time. But now when there's nothing there, you're not holding it as long trying to make something happen or looking for something to happen. You're willing to just throw the ball away for the incompletion, right? Throwing it out of bounds, getting rid of it, see more of that. And then I also want to see his accuracy improve because I'll chalk up some of the inaccuracies from last year to being a rookie. Getting the timing down, the timings from practice to game is different, right? So I want to see better accuracy out of him on some of those throws that big fans like, oh my God, you should make that. Well, a lot of rookies miss those throws. He also made some throws that were like, oh my God, how the hell did he get that? But I would want to see better accuracy on some of the balls that last year were probably something he should have completed and just didn't.
Right. Plus the 2 wins that we should have with 2 blocked field goals.
Yeah.
I think the Bears.
No, I mean, yeah. Yeah, we're the offseason champs for the 3rd year in a row there, Greg, don't you know? According to Packer fans, we're hanging the banners at Soldier Field for offseason champions.
Right, yeah.
No, I agree with you. Greg, I agree with you. Look at the talent's there. And last year I thought the talent was there too, initially, around everywhere on the field, and I thought the offensive line, based on the previous year, would be decent to somewhat improved. And then the season started, and guys we had penned in as starters were on the IR. And then the O-line was a shuffle. Really, the only consistency you had was right and left tackle. Everything in the middle kept shifting, and it was like a new guy every day. Guys couldn't stay healthy, and they never put it together because they had tons of talent on the field. And then the O-line, Montez Sweat was dinged up he was on the injury report from week 1 to the final week of the season.
Yep.
So, that, and the coaching was terrible last year too. We can't forget that. So, but no, Greg, I think you're right. This is a team that could win 8 to 10 games, realistically. And a division where it's a tough division. There's no easy wins for anyone in this division.
Oof.
Good question.
Let's
go with the easy side. Who do you want to see from the AFC?
Buffalo.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
My NFC side would be surprised though.
I think the AFC Championship game this year, I honestly believe it'll be Buffalo and Baltimore.
Yeah, if somebody can beat Kansas City.
I think I don't think Kansas City will have the 1 seed. I think Buffalo or Baltimore will have the 1 seed. That's your 1 and 2 seed. I think Patty Mahomes loses. I'm gonna say they're slotted with Buffalo. That they will get Buffalo in Buffalo and lose that playoff game, and finally they'll get Buffalo gets past it. But it's hard with Baltimore because they just got Jair Alexander, and if Jair Alexander is healthy and plays all season, they just got a top 5 corner for cheap.
And it seems like Derrick Henry just keeps getting better every year. And
yeah,
I mean, wow.
So
If Mark Andrews would have caught that ball last year, every one he dropped. Oh,
so yeah. Now, who's your NFC team going with the Super Bowl question?
now, just bear with me. My Super Bowl matchup: Buffalo against the Rams.
A lot of people are going with the Rams, man, and that's not a bad call.
Oof.
I think the
Rams were one play away of beating those fucking She-Eagles last year.
I think the Rams and the Bucs are two teams that are going to get overlooked when they talk about the playoffs because their divisions aren't that good. But the Bucs, man, they just got another great wide receiver, and they've got Otten, their tight end, is a stud.
Yep.
They got a good running back. They got Baker, who's like, look at you know what the thing with those two teams are? Their quarterbacks just do things to win games. Baker does Baker things. Stafford does Stafford things. Next thing you know, they won a game. So yeah, I could go with that. I could see the Rams. And would that be a surprise considering what people thought the Rams were going to be last year? Like, oh, they're done.
Yep. Even though they lost Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, and added Devontae.
Yeah, so there you go.
And you still got Puka. What AFC teams do you hate to see succeed?
Oh my God, teams! Oh God, still, I just Kansas City. I'm sick of them.
Yeah, I'm sick of them too.
I'm sick of Kansas City. I hate to see and Pittsburgh. I don't want to see Pittsburgh succeed as well.
They don't succeed.
Absolutely.
You know what Pittsburgh is? You know what Pittsburgh is? They're the AFC Green Bay Packers.
Oh, because of Aaron Rodgers. I get you. That's funny.
No, actually, I didn't even think about that when I said that, but now you've got that too. But no, they are the Green Bay Packers of the AFC. Go to the playoffs every year and do nothing.
And that's the big news I heard today. Aaron Rodgers is hanging it up after this year. That's why he signed a 1-year contract.
Yeah, plans on retiring after 2025. I saw that as well. But no, I think for the Steelers, they're like the Packers. They go to the playoffs. Tomlin's a good coach, right? But they go to the playoffs every year, have a winning record every year, and they do nothing. No ring. They don't even have a playoff win in 10 years. So the Packers are actually a little bit better than them in that regard. At least the Packers have a playoff win or two over the last 10 years. But yeah, the Steelers are the most overhyped AFC team. Yeah, great. They have a winning season every year. They haven't won a playoff game in 10 years. And that's why I think if Mike Tomlin does not win a playoff game this year, he's gone. And to be honest, like Matt LaFleur, the only reason he still has a job in Green Bay is because they beat Dallas in Dallas 2 years ago in the playoffs. Really, that bought him time. But if the Packers don't make the playoffs this year, there's gonna be some grumbling about Love, and there's gonna be some grumblings maybe about LaFleur. But I think they got more time. But I mean, yeah, I mean so that's an AFC team. I don't think they're successful.
Yep.
I really don't. But I hate that they're so overhyped. They're like Notre Dame, number 3 on the API top 25 every year before the year starts, and then by the third week they're off the list. You know what I mean? Another team that I'm tired of seeing success with or hearing succeed in the AFC. After that, it's kind of hard, man, because I don't hate Baltimore. I like their coach. I don't hate Buffalo. I like their quarterback. He's a good guy. I don't hate Burrow in Cincy. Yeah.
I don't mind the Chargers. I don't mind the Chargers.
No. Even though I like the Raiders in the West, I don't mind the other teams as much. I mean, and none of those teams are really the belle of the ball. Haven't been in a while, but Go Packers says the Packers look way better than last season, in your opinion. Yeah, I mean, look, I think all the teams, the Packers look better. I agree with that because A, they took a wide receiver in the first round for the first time in 2 decades. B, they're the most steady team in terms of they didn't lose any coaches. They didn't lose like their quarterback, or they lost Jair. He played 7 games last year, was big for him those 7 games. But outside of that, they're the most stable team in the division. I The thing with the Packers is that I think they're once again that team of mediocrity. Just because of where they pick and they don't go spend a lot of money this year. Yeah, and you're right there. That's where they were last year, though, too.
Yep.
If McCarthy's average with those weapons, though, they win lots of games. If Love is average in Green Bay, they don't win a lot of games. That's the difference between Green Bay and Minnesota.
And if Aaron Jones gets hurt again, the way Jordan Mason backed up McCaffrey in San Francisco, he was unbelievable runner. So they're stacked. Offensive line got better, running back got better. Just don't know about the quarterback. The wide receivers are the same with Addison and JJ. So, yeah.
What do you think about this comment about this whole youth thing? They're the youngest team for the past 2 seasons. Does that really mean anything to you, Woody?
Well, they did. Youngest team to ever win a playoff game ever. So, pretty impressive to me.
I mean, I don't know if that's like what was the average age for Philly who just won the Super Bowl, right? So I don't know if being a young team is really like the you know what I'm saying? It's like feel like, oh, well, we're young, so we're that's a big plus for us. Is it though? Is it really being young? Shouldn't it be a mix of young and old? That's what makes these teams good. Being so young might actually be doing you a disservice, and not just the short term, but the long term. Shouldn't you be striving for a good mix of old and new? I mean, yeah, I think they may have a better coach, they picked up some better line coaches and stuff, but youth does not necessarily always equal speed, though. Tell that to Tyreek Hill.
Well, tell Al Davis that. That's all he drafted was speed. His teams were shit. So be happy that they were the youngest players to beat to win a playoff game.
Some of the best, most beloved receivers on people's teams weren't speed guys. Waddle had to be one of the slowest receivers in Bears history, but the guy was money. Speed does not mean everything. So youth means they come back from injuries faster maybe than us old guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if the youth thing is really – I think there's a little something to it, but not as much as some people think there is. You want to have a fair amount of youth on the team because that gives you long term. Hey, I got these guys under contract the next 5 years. From that aspect. But
and plus it's impressive that all the rules changes in college football, they have to go through a whole other rule changes in pro. For example, the 2 feet in compared to 1.
Right.
So it's pretty impressive what the Packers did, though.
I mean, look at all your top O linemen. Aren't all your top O linemen late 20s, early 30s now? And
plus, the Packers have the best tight end in the North, Musgrave. I heard that too.
I think youth is in general. It depends on the player. It depends on the position. I'll give him that. Yeah, Derrick Henry.
I'm telling you. It just every year it seems like he's scoring a 99-yard touchdown.
Yeah,
every year.
It's just so I get the youth argument. Then you can look at Derrick Henry and guys that can go, really? Tucker Kraft. I mean, Tucker Kraft's okay.
Yeah, I heard Musgrave.
Yeah, Kraft's okay though. I mean, I'm not saying Kraft is shit, but he's okay.
So GPG, would you rather have Kraft and Musgrave over Loveland and Kmet?
Ooh, good question.
Remember, they didn't use Kmet too well the last couple of years. So
Edgerrin Cooper will be better this season on defense, maybe. I mean, you hope that play. I'm not going to say. I would not say that you're wrong in making that assessment because I think we all believe that players will be better this year than they were last year because they should be growing. Yep. So yeah, I mean, I get to see. He would take Kraft and Musgrave over Kmet and Loveland. Okay. Now look at though. This is an argument that we can't arbitrate, being two Bears fans and a Packer fan.
I
You know
can't
who
do
would
it.
have to answer this one? Greg Rice.
Yeah, I would have. I mean,
Greg Rice, would you rather have Kraft and Musgrave or Loveland and Komet?
I mean, Loveland didn't play a snap yet, but
Right.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but you know what? Greg knows his college players, dude.
and I think, Laporta is the best tight end in the NFC North.
Right now, yeah.
Don't even start with that fucking subject, please. Erase that comment. Yeah, Laporta is what's up, Mike. Laporta is the best tight end in this division.
Would you say that Minnesota has the second best tight end in the division? Ironically drafted by the Detroit Lions.
Healthy. Wow. Oh, man.
The problem with Cole Kmet and all this is the Bears have, when they've used Cole Kmet, he looks awesome. When they don't use Cole Kmet, we forget about him. And so does the league, and rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
So Cole Kmet, can't be maybe even in the top 3 because of the lack of usage the Bears get out of him or have gotten out of him. Right? So that makes it hard. But if I look in the division, I think 1-2 goes Detroit, Minnesota in the tight end room based off performance numbers, right? Career numbers, because Cole Kmet just doesn't have them. We know Kmet's a hell of a good tight end, but we never see it. That's not particularly his fault per se. But yeah.
Stats wise, if Hockenson stays healthy.
Yeah.
I was definitely.
So this is a good question, and I think my confidence in this particular realm of talking tight ends, I think Ben Johnson, with him, because he likes to use tight ends, as main event Mike can attest to. I think we'll see more out of Cole Kmet this year than we've seen in almost his entire career in Chicago, and we'll get a great dose of Loveland, and they're going to use both tight ends. And see, look at and yeah. And that's where I agree with main event Mike. We could have the best tight end duo because of the new coach who loves to play that personnel package, and it could be the best duo in the NFL.
All right, I'm going to ask Mike something, or I'm just going to tell Mike. We'll trade you Kmet for Laporta. Would you do it?
No, he won't do that. He's not. I mean, look at right now. Okay, well, that question needs to be asked in 2 ways. Would you do it now?
Yeah, no, or after the season.
Would you do it at the end of the season? Right. Let's see how it plays out. At the end of the season, he might make that trade.
Yeah,
if it plays out.
Yeah, we just don't know how Ben Johnson is. Like he's all big hype coming out. And like I always say, is that some coordinators, Matt Nagy, should stay coordinators.
Yeah.
We don't know how how to do it head coach.
Nagy hasn't even been a good coordinator in Kansas City, let's be honest.
Well, he has the rings to prove it, but anyway.
Because Andy Reid got him those rings.
Right. Good head coach, yes.
And that's a possibility too. I mean, because look at the bigger question comes with Kmet for next year is his $10 million cap hit, or
that'll be an issue.
$11 million cap hit. If we cut him after June 1st, we can save $10 million. That's going to come into play, Jabe. Is but I think they do whatever they can to keep both of them. If Kmet has a year, then there's a couple other players who are on the 2 other players who are possible chopping block for money issues. One being Swift.
Yeah.
And if he has a good year,
it's
going to be hard to cut him. And the other is a certain linebacker who is the biggest money savings.
Edmonds, yeah.
Edmonds. And with Edmonds, if he has a good year, maybe they renegotiate to bring his cap number down.
It's just amazing how I think Detroit has the best team on paper. Like, they have the best tight end, I think, Laporta in the division, the best running back duo, and probably, you think about it, the best quarterback in the division.
Yeah, I mean, statistically speaking, yeah, Jared Goff would be the best active quarterback in the division based off last year. They definitely have the best running back room based off last year. They have the best tight end room based off last year. They don't have the best receiving room. But that's okay because they got the other ones. But their offensive line last year was better. But I don't know if it's better this year after losing 2 starters.
Well, Glasgow he is a center. He was a center.
Yeah, but that's like Whitehair was an all-pro center, and then we moved him off. Like Glasgow was moved off, and then we brought him back. Take 2 wasn't as good as take 1. So I'm not as confident in their O-line this year as I am last year. I mean, on balance, I think you're right, but coming into the year with the changes, I think the team's a lot different. And then, of course, look at like I don't care what argument people want to make about Morton, like, oh, he's internal, he's the originator of the scheme Ben Johnson liked. All those arguments are nice, but the bigger thing that you can't replicate is the play calling at the moment, at the point of impact. He's not going to call plays like Ben Johnson. It could be worse. He might not make the right call like Ben Johnson made. So they're a super talented team offensively. They have a lot of great things there, but I'm not as completely sold on them as I am with, say, Minnesota, whose only question mark for me is, can JJ just be an average quarterback? Because that's all he has to be. Goff, if he's an average quarterback, they're not that good in Detroit. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Well, Mike, well, Mike, you already knew
Here
that.
Comes a love fest.
Years back. You're a Detroit or a Michigan fan. How do you think Loveland's going to pan out? Do you think he'll be good in this offense? Does he have to be the number 1 tight end? I mean, they're saying he was this is what I still don't understand. They said he was the best receiving tight end coming out of college, but Warren was the best all-around tight end, which I don't understand at all.
So last year, well, he types his response. Last year, he had just over 10 yards per catch. The championship year, just over 14 yards per catch as an average. That was Loveland's averages last year per catch. His production was down overall last year because he wasn't targeted as much.
Yeah, he only had 5 touchdowns last year.
Yeah, and he had less touchdowns. The championship year, I think he had like 8. So a little less production, but the averages will kind of reflect, he was throwing the ball more. But 14 yards the championship year, 10 yards per catch last year. That's pretty good. That's like where Cole Kmet's at, about 10 yards per catch, believe it, in his career.
And that's where every receiver should be. Tight end and everywhere. Over 10 yards.
Yeah, see, there we go.
Right.
And actually, I think he fits the scheme maybe better than what Warren would. I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what Warren does.
He could be the next Dallas Clark, Warren, in Indianapolis.
He could be. We'll see what happens there in Indianapolis with their quarterback issues too. That the tight end situation in Chicago is going to be interesting. And of course, then we got my favorite situation, the situation that every Bear fan loves to talk about, the kicking situation.
Oh boy.
Ever since Cody Parkey, it's like you don't talk about kickers. But look, we brought a kid in to push Cairo. Cairo's career long is at 53. This kid knocks him in from 55, 57. And we saw in week 2, that was a difference maker. Week 2 last year against the Texans was field goals.
Yep.
Being able to kick them versus punting. So that's gonna be another question we're gonna have to answer.
That's just fucking amazing with these kicking stories. I'm just tired of it. If I hear the fucking double doink again, I'm still hearing it. Parkey was paid off by these fucking Sheagles. I'm done. All right. Let me start it.
Oh, well, don't forget, everyone, we got about around a minute left. Don't forget to come back Sunday morning. We'll be back on at 11 a.m. Central with a fuller cast than just myself and Woody. Even though that's all you need is 2 guys with no opinion. But we like to bring the rest of the crew on Sundays too if we can. Tomorrow and Friday, don't forget 10 a.m. Central. We have Ken and Ken in the morning. Do we have anything else going on this weekend, Woody? Red Zone Rant.
Yep.
Some open mic stuff going on Saturday. Cairo probably sucks as a kicker, but at least he's not Justin Tucker. Oh, Jesus. Cairo's a good kicker if it's 48 or less. And you're
Yep.
right. He's not Justin Tucker,
Yep. No.
who's now and still going to be a free agent. But thank you all for joining us tonight. We'll see you guys soon. Woody, any final thoughts? We have about 4 seconds.
Fuck the kicking.
There you go. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you Sunday. Bear down.
Bear down.